What's life like as a digital nomad living in Barcelona during the COVID-19 pandemic? Find out next. Hey, what's up, Jaycationers? Welcome back to another Barcelona Chats video. Today we're going to be talking to a digital nomad from the US who is currently living in Barcelona. She actually flew into Barcelona right before the big pandemic hit, and she's been living there ever since. And we're going to talk to her. Her name is Ebonee Williams, and she runs a travel blog. And we're going to talk to her about her experiences in and around Barcelona over the last few months. Now, guys, if you want to subscribe to my channel and see more Barcelona chats and more content from San Diego or Barcelona, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get updates on my latest videos. Also, don't forget to visit my Patreon page where I have exclusive content and offers. And if you join at a $5 tier and up, I'm gonna send you a personalized postcard from San Diego in the month of August and maybe into September. Also, before we start this video, I wanted to shout out Kobe. It's Kobe Day, 8/24. So, I had to rock the Black Mamba jersey. Rest in peace, Kobe and Gigi. What's up, Jaycationers? Welcome back to another video interview, a Barcelona chat from another person in Barcelona, this time a digital nomad. This is Ebonee Williams. How you doing, Ebony?
Hi, good. How are you? Long time no see.
I know, right? It's crazy. We should actually start off with that, how we actually met and became friends.
Yes, in the airline.
Yeah, we were on my last trip to Europe.
Yeah.
We were on the same flight to Barcelona. So like we both landed, we were in the same row. We had the nice middle seat. The nice middle seat was empty, so we were able to relax and chill.
Check out, yeah. And we bonded over that insane turbulence. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, that was crazy. It was almost like
screaming.
People were freaking out, and I was like, yeah, this is weird. This is crazy turbulence. And yeah, and you saw me editing, and you're like, "Are you a vlogger or something?"
Yeah. I was like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?"
Yeah, and then you mentioned you're a blogger, and we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
And your website is eboneetravels.com, right?
Yes, it is Ebony Travels. Currently, I'm not traveling, but no one's traveling.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into that. You're a digital nomad now living in Barcelona. You've been there since February.
Yeah, it's crazy. And not like, that wasn't the plan. But because of all this, it just is the plan now. So
yeah, you were telling me that you wanted to be in Barcelona for a few weeks, and then you wanted to go to like Lisbon and other parts of Europe, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like initially I kind of had, I really didn't have a plan. I just kind of came. I found a really good ticket for $161 from LAX all the way to Barcelona nonstop. And then, the plan was just maybe to be here for a little bit. I've already been to Barcelona, so I was like, yeah, I've seen it. I love it. It's a great city. But I also wanted to go to some cities that I hadn't been to. And then, the world changed like 2 weeks into my stay. And I was like, oh, okay, well, now I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it was just starting. Like when we were on the plane, I think you were already wiping down your seats and everything like that.
Yeah. And I remember because I'm from Virginia. And so I was in LA or like California for like 2 weeks before I came here. And I remember talking to my family and they were like, this kind of seems like it's going to be like a thing. Like, do you feel you should still go to Spain? And like, because it's one thing traveling within the States within your own country, but to like leave the country and you're not sure what's going to happen. They were like, do you think you should still go? And I'm like, I'm sure it's going to be fine. It seems like everything is going to be okay, And then it wasn't.
Yeah. And then suddenly the world changed. And
fast.
We were both in Barcelona at the same time. I think I got back to Barcelona March 12. And I only spent 8 days there because they canceled my flight. And if I didn't rebook by the 21st, I just would have been stuck there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd love to be there and be set up, like I'm trying to be a digital nomad as much as I can with my travel. Yeah, but I did have to take care of some things back home.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thankfully, I've taken care of stuff, and I'm just waiting for the travel ban to get
To
lifted,
live.
so
Yeah.
us Americans can travel again.
Oh my God, I know. It stinks. It's like Americans can't go anywhere. Even for me, it's like I'm here. So it kind of feels like, yes, I'm traveling, but at the same time, it's like I don't think I could leave here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's a great thing that you're in a city that presents a lot of different aspects, the beach, the mountains, and culture. And there's just so many things you
totally.
can see. You said you're a blog tech coach. What is a blog tech coach?
Like I'm trying to figure that out too. No, I'm just kidding. um, but no, it's basically what I found is that there are so many people that are so good in their specific industries. And most of the people I work with are like health coaches or like, people who want to be bloggers or offer some kind of service on the internet. And they're good at their zone of genius, but they don't know how to set that process up. You know what I mean? So it's like they don't
Hmm.
know like how to connect, the domain to the hosting or, what's going to be the best platform for them, but also something that's easy to manage because when you're just starting out, like, yeah, you can pay like, $5,000 or something for like a really nice website. But at the end of the day, are you going to be the one managing it or is someone else going to? Because then you have to think about those additional costs. So what I do is you can work with me in one of two ways. Either I can set it up for you and then teach you how to do it, or which is good for people who are just starting out, or if you already have
Hmm.
something and you just need more of like consulting, then I do that too.
What type of clients do you cater to?
Yeah, mostly like coaches. So like health coaches or people who want to be bloggers or like a virtual assistant, like people who have services and they want to like have like a home for them on the internet. Because especially now, and I think during this time, we really saw like this uptick in people really feeling like I need a presence on the internet or I need at least maybe an extra stream where I can like make money on the internet. And I think having a home where someone can go on there and they can purchase your service directly from you online makes the process so much easier. And then you can figure out how to work with them after that. But to have something set up where you can take payments and maybe share a little more about yourself and what you do and how you add value or what you offer, I think it's a great start.
It can get a little confusing for people that are first starting off with
Oh, for sure.
making
It's
these
so many
blogs.
things.
Yeah, there's so many components in
Yeah.
terms of adding stuff, setting up your uh, email,
Oh my God,
get
yeah.
an email list, right? That's one thing that people get confused right off the bat, like how to
Exactly.
use MailChimp or any other program like
Any
that, right?
program. Yeah. And then, so what I'm working on now is actually building a course because something I find that people want to know, the clients that I have, is that they want to learn how to manage it and keep it up on their own. And then also they come back sometimes to ask me like a very simple question that I'm thinking, I need to figure out how to create like a community where we can kind of have this dialogue where it's like this course where, you can have lifetime access and you can access me kind of like not all the time, but like often, to ask these questions instead of paying like every time you come back for a question or something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
You add a nice personal touch to it to where you feel like every now and then if your client has a question
Yeah,
they
of
can
course.
hit you up and you'll
Yeah.
personally take your time to coach them
To
through it
help.
basically.
Yeah, because honestly, that's how I got started. Like,
Hmm.
I started taking like courses and coaching programs, and like they were set up in this way where it was like a 4-week program, but yet during that time you had access to someone because there's so many, like we were talking about moving components of like starting a business, and sometimes you just want to have a question and like want to talk to someone.
Hmm.
And like, so during this live program every year, I have that access and it's nice.
Awesome. That's a great business to set up, and look at you now you're in Barcelona, living the digital nomad life.
Yeah.
So the next question is, how
Oh.
did you end up in Barcelona? We know how you got there with flying there and all, but
Yeah. So basically, I was in Mexico last year for 3 months. After that, I thought that was going to be my home, right? And there were just some things that just weren't happening the way I wanted them to happen. And so, long story short, it ended up not being a good fit at that time. But yet, when I went back home for the holidays, like I knew I still wanted to go travel. So I was like, maybe now's a good time to go back to Mexico. But it's also like high season in the beginning of the year. And so I had a friend that was here and knew Barcelona really well and just ended up coming here because, the stars aligned. The flight was cheap. I was like, okay, maybe this is where I need to be. To your point, when you were saying, we had a brief conversation earlier when you were saying you had to come back home and deal with some things. So when I left, I had the intention of not coming back. And so I kind of closed out some things, set up some things in advance so that I knew I wasn't coming back or didn't need to come back right away.
Once you got there, you're probably going to be there for a couple weeks only.
Yeah, I didn't have a plan, to be honest. I was like, I'm just gonna go and figure it out because my only thing that was holding me back from being in Europe at the beginning of the year, I'm like, it's just cold. I love Europe, but it's so cold in these like winter months, and like it's such a great place to be out and walking. And I'm like, I don't want to walk in the cold. And so I was thinking, yeah, maybe a couple weeks and then maybe go someplace else warmer or, something like that. And then, then it got really hard to travel.
Exactly. Then Barcelona locked down.
Became home.
It became home to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next question would be, what was it like in Barcelona during the
Oh
lockdown?
my God. Okay. So I think at the beginning, everyone thought it was going to be like this 2-week thing, because that was kind of what we were hearing. It's going to be 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay, 2 weeks being locked down. Yes, not ideal, but, it'll be okay. And then it started to extend. And so when I first came to Barcelona, I only knew one person. And he actually lives outside of the city. It was someone I met when I was here several years ago. I came with a travel company and he was like our tour guide, but now he like has a job. He has like a whole life,
Uh-huh.
And so he was the only person I knew. And then I met you on the plane. You guys are the only two people.
That's funny
And
because we even rode into the city together on the
I know
Aerobus too.
you were like helping me out. You were like, you should do this, you should do that. I was like, oh my God, thank you. And then when I was here, a friend of mine that I met in Mexico connected me with a friend of hers who just happened to be, he's from New York. He just happened to be here too. So it was kind of nice at the beginning of feeling like, okay, I know a couple people. So if this turns out to be a real thing, it won't be that intense.
Mm-hmm.
But during the lockdown, I was in an apartment by myself for like 2.5 months. And it was kind of crazy because it was kind of like, I don't want to say extreme, but like we had one of the like strictest rules in like I feel like in the world, maybe like China too, but like it was pretty strict here. And so it was kind of, I think initially it was like, okay, I'm going to use this time to relax, kind of get some things in order that I've been saying I want to get in order because now I don't have any distractions. Like I can't leave. I'm like stuck in this house. Luckily, it's like a big house and there's like lots of room. I think if I was in a smaller place, I probably would have gone crazy. But it was just weird not being able to go outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it was up to a €600 fine if you
That
were
was
caught way too
expensive.
far outside of your
Yeah,
neighborhood, and
that was
you
crazy.
basically were only able to go to the grocery store and the
The
pharmacy, and
pharmacy,
that's
exactly,
it.
or the hospital if something was wrong. But
Mhm.
like we weren't able to go anywhere. And it was like, I think, and then this other part of it was everyone was transitioned into working from home and everyone was like, oh my God, I hate working from home. I hate the computer. And then, after a while it was kind of like, I just need like a different scenery.
Yeah.
But it was strange for sure. Cause it's like I had never been locked down. I don't think anybody has like locked down like to that extent. It was like intense.
Yeah, and I guess you had to look at it with a silver lining that you were actually able to get your work done because you
This
really
is
didn't have
true.
distractions.
Yes, that is a silver lining because it's like I was able to set up a couple of things. I was still working with a couple people actually during that time. Although some clients did scale, like there were some people I was supposed to work with and didn't end up working with them because I guess like budgets or whatever they had going on their end. Luckily, I was still able to do a couple things being in here and being focused. And then it also gave me some time to kind of work on or figure out my own projects. Because sometimes, like when you work with clients, you're like so focused on their stuff, and then you have to update your stuff too. So sometimes your stuff gets pushed on the back burner because you're doing the stuff that's like making you the money, which is like working with them.
Exactly. Sometimes working with clients, that has to be the priority because that's where your income comes from.
Yeah, of course.
I'm guessing you got to catch up on a lot of Netflix or something similar, right?
You know what? I actually don't watch TV really.
Wow.
I know. I'm more of like, so I started listening to this like podcast kind of like on
Nice.
YouTube. This woman speaks about like life. It was such a good time actually to really be like think about your life and think about like what it is that you want in life and like just kind of get your mind right. And so I used that time for that. But I did watch a couple of things on Netflix. I watched I'm more like documentaries. So I watched a couple of those. I hadn't watched The Secret. Have you heard of The Secret?
I've heard of it. Yeah, but I lost Netflix in the middle of the pandemic, and I just haven't been. I've been too cheap to re-up on it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I only have it here. This isn't even mine, but it's here in this Airbnb. So yeah, I watched The Secret. I watched like a series, The Girl Boss.
Nice.
And like, you know, a couple of things like that. But yeah.
What happened to the 90-day tourist visa when you were when the lockdown was implemented? You're only supposed to be there for 90 days, right? So unless you leave and then come back.
Illegal. No, I'm kidding. I'm not illegal. But you know, it's still kind of tricky because there are different things being said, but for the most part, basically what happened was that they put a freeze on like the dates for like anything because all the offices were closed. And so for the tourist visa, they said, you know, once the state of alarm ends, we'll start counting the days from then, right?
So reset to 90, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like once the state of alarm lifted, those dates reset to 90. So the state of alarm lifted, today's August 4th. It lifted on I think June 21st. So technically you have 90 days from that day.
I mean, I knew they were starting to get back to life there, but I didn't realize that they lifted the state of alarm already.
Yeah, it was lifted. I'm pretty sure, I don't think it was July. I'm pretty sure it was June 21st.
If I were able to stay there, I'd possibly be like you right now. Just not leave Barcelona.
Exactly. Because I'm thinking, God, I came here in February. That's like, this is the longest time I've ever been like in any one place consistently like this, you know?
Yeah, but it's just a different type of staying at one place, right?
It's definitely
3 months lockdown is not
it's not
the way you want it. Yeah.
Right. But the beauty of being here during this time is that there are a lot less people here. So it's like you really got to, I don't want to say you really got to experience it, but like in a different way. You know what I mean? Because when I first came, it was just like a normal time. So it was like super crowded. Granted, it was February, but it just felt like the city had more life, you know? But like after that and like the lockdown, and then after the lockdown, it was just so weird because so even near Passage de Gracia, right here, like near me, like it was just so bare. I was like, I've never seen this like this. Like it was crazy.
Barcelona without the tourists, and the locals weren't really able to go out of their house.
And then I think there was a time also when people were like scared, you know, like they just weren't sure what to expect. So then people just weren't going outside unless they had to, you know?
Yeah, it was like the middle of March till probably all of April. That's probably the time where people were still trying to figure this whole thing out. What is life like in Barcelona as a digital nomad?
So you know how I said I came here and I knew you on the plane and then another person. Everyone else that I've met has been through the internet.
That's awesome.
But we all are here. So yeah, it's been amazing. What I love about this city for the most part is like, I feel like in most cities where it's like, it has a digital nomad vibe, it's very transient. So people are in and out really quick. But here it's more of like somewhere between digital nomad and expat, because it's like, even though people have this work online thing, they're here a little longer. So then you really get to cultivate those like relationships. You get to like, I don't know, really get to know people instead of it being more like an in and out kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of like. And so, yeah, it's great because there are so many in normal times before this. Like I was going to like events and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like International Women's Day, I think, like right before this happened. And I went to an
Yep.
event, met a ton of people. Like it was great. So it's definitely a good place to be if you have a business online and you're looking to meet with other like expats or digital nomads. Like this is a great place. And then you get to meet people from all over the world.
Yeah, it really is a nice hub for digital nomads, and
Yeah,
also for working at different places like cafes, which leads us into the
exactly.
next question is,
Yeah.
what are your favorite cafes in Barcelona?
Okay, so I kind of like working out of hotels, like in the
Oh, nice.
lobby.
In the lobbies?
So in some hotels here, like some of the lobbies have it set up like a co-working space, you know? So you can just like get a coffee and just kind of sit there like a cafe as well. So like before this, I would meet up with a friend at there was a hotel just on the other side of Dialla now, like not too far from where I live. It was Hotel 70. Have you been there?
Hotel 70. No, I don't think
Like
I have.
70
There's so many hotels. It's
so
crazy.
many. And it's nice that they kind of cater, which goes back to your point of being like a digital nomad in the city. They kind of cater to this audience because they have some tables that are like there for you with like plugs where you can
Oh,
go in there and
nice.
sit and work and just order like a coffee or like a tea or something like that. So there are a couple of those in the city, but then there's one that's not too far from me. I think it's called like Eat My Trip.
Oh,
Yeah, Eat
nice.
My Trip. It's so good. They have it's like such a cute little vibe in there. They have like really good coffee, really good brunch. They have the best smoothies. Like if you ever want to go get a smoothie, it's so good.
Smoothies, nice.
Juice Dudes is good too. I like Juice Dudes. But yeah, and then I think in terms of like other cafes or like neighborhoods, like I like going close to like Barcelona. There are a cute little cafes down there. Even I'm in Eixample. There are a lot of cafes in Eixample. Sometimes I'm so spoiled, like I never leave. This neighborhood is
That
everything
area, yeah.
here.
That's why I
Yeah.
love Lejeunple so much, that
Oh
it's like you don't have to leave that neighborhood. There's so
no,
many new things. Like you
yeah.
turn a left one day and you see something new. You turn right one
Mhm.
day, something totally different. So
Which is like good and bad, you know.
yeah, yeah, because you'll never get to try everything in that city.
Yeah, totally.
You visited my roommate's bar, right? Bar
Oh my
Estudiantil.
God, yeah, yeah. I think did you told me to go there, right? Because I'm like, I just went there one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really good.
I know they're always there hanging out, and they were cooped up for 3 months going
Oh my God.
crazy.
Yeah, my friend and I went, and she was like, "Oh my God, I've actually never been here, but I like this place." She's like, "They're so nice. Like the service is great, the food was good," and I was like, "Yeah, I know. We need to come back."
It's nice because it's like the people watching over there. It's like you
Oh my
look
God, it's
out
the best
and
place.
Universitat is right there, and people are passing by.
Yeah, it's the best place that people watch.
Yeah, so I love Bar Estudiantil. You'll find me there for every FC Barcelona game. That's
Mm,
where I watch all the
yeah,
matches. So
yeah. I told him I was like, my friend told me about this place, and like one of the owners, she was like, "Who?" And then I showed them your picture. They're like, "Oh my God, yeah, we love him."
yeah, everybody sees my videos and like they love going to Estudiantil for a
Yeah,
coffee or for a sangria.
yeah, it's awesome.
What parts of Catalunya have you visited since you've been able to move around?
Yeah, so it's like a day trip. I went with some friends to Sitges. I love Sitges. Have you been?
Oh, Citrus is beautiful. Yeah, I loved it. I went there on a day
Mhm.
trip, and it's only 45 minutes from
Right,
the city.
exactly. Yeah, it's like super close. It's super easy to get there. And that's what I did too. I just went on a day trip. And then the second place I went to, which was just last weekend for a birthday, was Bigger. So in Costa Brava. Oh my God. It was now that place was amazing.
Oh, you did Costa Brava. That's one place
Uh,
that in my 2 years there, I still haven't been to Costa
what?
Brava yet. No,
Shay?
that was in my itinerary before COVID
Mm,
shut it all
mm,
down.
mm.
I was gonna do a few nights in Costa Brava, but now that
Yeah.
you talked about it, makes me want to go there even more next time.
I mean, you've just got to go. We actually, so because it was like a birthday, it was like a special occasion, we kind of like did it up a little bit. And a friend of mine, she got like this like hotel, like resort. And we kind of just split the rooms. But my God, it was nice. I was like, this needs to be my life like every single day.
All the time, right?
It was
All the
so
time.
nice. Yeah.
You've been to other parts around the city, like Montjuic. I've seen it all
Oh,
over your Instagram
I
stories.
love
So
Montjuic. Yeah, for sure. Montjuic is so beautiful. It's so, I would think I was actually there. I was just there on Sunday because, so what they're doing now is like maybe it's something to do every summer. I'm not sure, but the first Sunday of the month is like a free day to go to the
yep,
museums. So yeah, I just went to that museum, like the history of like Catalunya.
it's beautiful, isn't it? That's just
So
a beautiful
beautiful.
museum.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So this is your final question, and then we're going to let you go. What neighborhood in Barcelona do you feel matches your personality?
Dude, a Champlain. Seriously, I love it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I would say Le Jample and San Antoni.
Okay, you know what? I like it over there too, actually, because I like how you get a little bit more like nature, and it's like
Mhm.
right on the edge of like Montjuic. You know what I mean? So in some of those parts, yeah, I love it over there too, and it's like chill. It's more of
Yep.
like it's a different vibe, but it's still like chill and quiet in some spots. So yeah, I like that too.
You can find areas where there's no tourists around there,
Yeah,
and it
it's
feels
more
a lot
local.
more relaxing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
a
The
lot more
air
local.
fresher or something like that over there. You can go take a walk in the park. Yeah, I like it over there.
Awesome. Well, Ebony, appreciate you for coming on and appreciate your time. You want to talk a little bit more about your website and where people can follow you online?
Yeah, of course. So you can check out my website at eboneetravels.com, and it's EBONEE travels.com. And then same thing everywhere else. I'm Ebony Travels all over. So Twitter, Instagram, all the things.
Awesome. Yeah. And make sure you guys follow her right now because she's got some really
Yeah,
cool stuff on her Instagram and everything else.
definitely. Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Yeah, this is great. And maybe we'll do it again sometime and get an
Yeah,
update
hopefully in
from,
person.
yeah, in person. That's right. Believe me,
Yeah.
I'm stalking the airlines and waiting for this to blow over so I can get over to Barcelona.
I wish I could like send you a rope and like drag you
Right.
over there. A lifeline.
All right, Ebony. Well, thanks and have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks a lot, Ebony. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk about being a digital nomad in Barcelona. Now, if you want to follow her blog, it's linked in the description box below. And once again, please subscribe and hit that notification bell and become a Jaycationer. I'm actually in the middle of this San Diego series. Every now and then I'm going to try to do these Barcelona chat videos so I can keep bringing you Barcelona content from people that are actually living in Barcelona at the moment. Well guys, we'll see you in the next video. Adios.